Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you here to another Distinct Talk broadcast system brought to you proudly by J.H. Remmert and Empowerment Ministries. I am excited about tonight's broadcast. I'm lucky to have the one, the only Miss Delania Cunningham here inside of the studios with us today. I want to give her the chance to introduce herself to you and let us know a little bit about you, where you come from, and a little bit about your background.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be on the Distinct broadcast this evening. And I am originally from a small town known as Atala, Alabama. I've lived in Florida for the past 28 years, and while I have been here, I've worked as a teacher, an assistant principal, a principal, and an educational consultant. I love children, I love working with children, but my biggest and my greatest passion is theater.
Okay. So now let me ask you a question. Your passion for theater, where did that passion come from?
Well, in college, I was a part of a little acting group known as the Little Theater. And from that introduction to how to act on stage, how to write, how to perform, I just grew to love it. So once I graduated from college, my husband and we developed a little acting company called Word in Action. So the two of us used to go around and put on skits and minor productions for churches and events and things like that. So it's just something that I love to them.
Okay. Now, I know you say that your husband and yourself have actually put on some small things. Give us a couple names or some titles of some of the skits or plays that you have actually produced together.
Oh, well, together, our first production was entitled Serving Two Won't Do, because we were doing, I think it was back in 1990.
Wow.
I'll tell my age in a minute. Back in 1990, we actually had the responsibility of putting or creating the entertainment for a church service that we were going to. And they wanted a skit. So we came up with this Serving Two Won't Do, because the Bible says no man can serve two masters. He's going to either love one or hate the other. So we created that. Of course, every skit has to have conflict. And of course, he was the good guy, and I was the bad person in the skit. But it was something that we made up in our living room, but it was so successful. And then from that day forward, we were getting calls to do skits at different venues, birthday parties, anniversaries, everything. So it was wonderful.
Wow. So since 1990, now give us a little bit about your company. I know about the company, but a lot of the viewers and listeners would know about yourself. And we started in the living room type of thing, but from 1990 or a little bit before to now, I know you birthed the company a couple of years ago. Could you tell us a little bit about your company?
That company is called KG Productions. And what I try to do with the company is to spread the gospel through the arts. Singing, dancing, acting. I want to put everything under one umbrella. That company was actually birthed out of the Cathedral of Praise Worship Center, where the, Apostle Designate Betty Francis is the pastor. So we, as a praise team group, we were just fooling around after praise team rehearsal one day, because we have nothing. We enjoy what we do.
Right.
And we started imitating scenes from Dreamgirls, the movie.
Okay.
So I had a line, somebody else would say a line, and we just thought we were in the movie. So we took it, and I took it, and I spent it around, and I called our production the King's Girls.
Right.
Which means that we are the girls of the King. So once I wrote the script for that, everything else just fell in line. I mean, I had my girls who could sing. I had my role. I had the whole premise of the play. I had conflict. I had drama. And I had some guest actors and actresses. And Dr. Remember, you were in the original production of the King's Girl as Tony.
And that was a role.
Tony and Big Al. So he had 2 roles in one production.
First time hitting the stage play, but hey, it was fun. It was fun. I must admit, that was an exciting play though. It was exciting. It was an exciting play. Since the King's Girls, and what else?
Well, since the King's Girls, okay, from that, you know, the company was developed, and now what I'm currently doing is trying to expand the company. I'm looking for actresses, singers, dancers, anyone who would love to be a part of KG Productions. Please hit me up. Okay, thank you. But right now, cheap plug, I'm sorry. But right now I am looking for, like I said, actors and singers, because the KG production is on a roll again.
Yes.
So what we do now is we go into organizations and we create fundraisers for them in the form of a stage play. I have a stage play coming up on January 27th at 4 o'clock at Destiny Worship Center in Lauderhill. And what we're doing there is they're using one of my stage plays as a fundraiser. Mm-hmm. We did the play mid-December, I think around December 16th, but it sold out. Yes. Everyone came. Yes. It was like amazing to see the turnout for this particular play. And now we are bringing it back on January 27th.
Okay.
To do it all over again.
Give us the name of the play, mm-hmm. and tell us just a little bit about the play.
Oh, the name of the play, and the name was given to the play by my nephew, Patrick Washington. Patrick and I, we write stage plays together. And this particular stage play, we sat down, I joined his company, Dynamic, and he worked with KG, and we came up with this stage play called On Borrowed Time. Like the characters that we created, they're people that we know, but you know, we've changed the name to protect the innocent, which would be us. So we changed the name to protect the innocent, and the play it takes you through a cornucopia of emotions. I mean, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna get mad, you're gonna be happy again. Yes. You explore all the emotions in this play about a young Christian mother, well, not young, middle-aged Christian mother, who's having so many problems with her recalcitrant son. He's nasty, rude, disrespectful, and when you have relationships that are that tainted, only the grace of the Most High can redeem it, if it's redeemable.
Right. Well, we know all things. Yes. He can correct.
Yes.
He has no problem correcting them.
Right.
It's just, are you prepared for when he get ready to correct you when you're doing wrong?
And how he's going to.
And how he's going to correct you. That's right. That's true. Now, I know for myself, I had the pleasure of being in the audience. Thank you. And once you go past the arena, I want to say, once you get past the arena, the message is very, very, very strong. But I want to plug this in. I have also had Patrick here, Patrick on set.
Yes.
Phenomenal writer, phenomenal person. I mean, his ministry is awesome.
Hats off to him.
Yes, he is he's
amazing.
He's amazing. And you took it out of my mind. He's an amazing gentleman. And I've seen him in action. You know, I've seen Otis. You know, I've seen all of this before. But it was something about On Borrowed Time that I think the listeners and the viewers here will probably need to hear. I know you spoke about the main character, but there are so many people that I remember in this. Yeah, it was like you say, it was layers of things, and right. Some of this was, like you say, emotional hurt. Right. People were going through. I mean, I beg of you, those that are in the area, make sure you make plans to come again. What day is this going to be on? It's
going to be January 27th at 4 o'clock at Destiny Worship Center International in Lauderhill.
Okay, and I will make sure that we put the address to Destiny Worship Center
yes.
on this broadcast.
Thank you.
And also for the podcast, we will make sure we keep it going starting back next week. I will be going back on the air with the podcast, so I will make it my business to make sure that we keep the announcements going. But give me what could we expect after On Borrowed Time? Do you have anything else in the works? Anything
Yes,
else
I
in the
do.
making?
I am scheduled to do a play with another ministry entitled Glory Train. And then in May, I'm doing Patrick's play that he has written with a ministry out of Fort Lauderdale, and his play is entitled What Does It Profit a Woman? So we have a lot of productions coming up, but I cannot do any of this without the help of the Most High and the writing skills of my nephew. Patrick Washington has been like a rock for me. And he's the one who has actually taught me about layers. Instead of like, don't keep everything on the surface, and take the character and dig down deeper. Like, he taught me the importance of that.
Yes.
And in the play, it's not just, in On Borrowed Time, it's not just a mother and a son, but it's a mother and a neighbor, a mother and church people, a mother and, there's also, it's about relationships.
Yes, yes.
And how you form these relationships, and what are some things that can damage a good relationship.
Right.
Right. I mean, there's feedback from the neighbor who comes in, the deacon who comes back from the church. Like, there's so many layers to a person. And then when you're trying to live a life that's pleasing unto the Most High, and you have all these factors that are woven into it, it creates for great drama.
I want to go back and just think about the title, what you just said, as we transpose to the next level here. The fact of the title itself, On Borrowed Time. I don't know about anyone else, but that title, it says a lot. I don't know about anybody else, but as far as myself, I know in 2015, it seemed like 2015 itself just punched me in the stomach. 2016 punched me in the chest. 2017 punched me in the head. So it's like, what more could I take? But then at the end of the day, we have to remember that we're still here.
Right.
God still gave us another chance. But we must realize and recognize that we are on borrowed time.
Yes.
And the thing about that is, sometimes people take time for granted. Okay, I can do it tomorrow, or next year I'll think about doing this, or next month I'll focus on this. But we don't realize that tomorrow is not even promised. So we have to understand that all of our time, it is borrowed. God is just lending us this time to get right with Him.
Right.
Most times us as Christians, we always feel like we have it. We got a foot in the heaven. Like, we want the heaven anyhow.
Yes.
We can do what we want to do, and we can go to heaven anyhow. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
I don't want to give up, certain parts of the play, but if I was to tie in the play that you did, and plus the play that I witnessed with Patrick, if you mount them two together, I'm telling you, you have an explosion, because the truth of the matter is, you don't know if you're going to make it in or not.
That's true.
And you don't know what tomorrow brings. So it's like, you have to do what you can do today to make sure that you have a secured site in the kingdom.
Right.
So that it is. I want to say to you what I witnessed, even the actors. I mean, you would actually think that a lot of those actors and actresses that was on that stage were they've been there before,
Right.
So to my understanding, a lot of them were first time actors and actresses.
Very first time on the stage for the majority of them.
Wow.
And they were able to do what they needed to do because they could relate to their character in some way.
Yes.
Because what we write characters that are real. We write characters based on people that you may know, people next door to you, or people in your home. Like, we write characters that are very relatable. And to Patrick and I, we talk a lot, and we sit down and we talk about the importance of relationship, the importance of time, because we believe that we're put on this earth for a purpose.
Yes.
And whatever that purpose is, now is the time to fulfill it.
Yes.
There's no more, I'll get to it later. Oh, Most High, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week. But He is calling for us to do what we're going to do for Him now.
That's right.
Because tomorrow is not promised. We all live on borrowed time. But what we do within that time is very, very important.
Excellent.
because that's going to determine whether or not you make it in or you don't make it in.
Absolutely.
And I want to hear him say, well done,
Done.
and not just, well,
You're done.
you know, that's a big difference.
Right.
So, you know, and that's the kind of life I like to live. You know, and a lot of people, I do stage plays because it brings you the gospel in a different format. You know,
Right.
but the message does not change, but the methodology can change.
Absolutely.
So everybody, you know, a lot of people, they don't want to go and hear the preacher be up for 20 minutes. Oh, come do this, sit down. Don't do that no more. Stop it. Look at yourself. Examine your life. How you live. You know, they don't want that format.
Right.
For some people, it may take the format that we're giving them.
Absolutely.
In order for them to grab the concept of, oh my goodness, I need to step back, look at my life, and see what I'm doing.
Right.
And see why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right.
And what has caused me to be who I am, and what are those factors that I need to work on to be a better me.
You know, one thing I think about too when I thought about when I seen your play, that play encompassed so many, like you said, so many different people: the mother, the neighbor, the son's friend, the church members, the deacon, and I want to say everyone in that crowd, and it was sold out, but everyone in the crowd, I'm sure at one point or another could relate to somebody that was on that stage.
It's to some degree.
Yes.
To some degree. They saw themselves in
one
or more characters.
Exactly. Or if it wasn't you, that it was something you were dealing with. Maybe it wasn't you, but maybe you was the mother in the play.
Right.
You know, maybe you could have just been an absentee father that was in the play.
Right.
It's so many things that play produced, and that's why I say I just want, if you're in the area, Pompano, Hollywood, Hallandale, Fort Lauderdale, Pembroke Pines, Miami, listen, get there. Again, we will make sure that we drop the information on this particular footage and thereafter, because we want to help you succeed and make it another successful play. I know it's sold out before, so I'm sure it'll sell out again. And also to anyone else that may be looking, any other pastor, parks, recreations, cathedrals, anyone that may want to, I beg of you to get in contact with her and see about putting on this production and your establishment, because I'm telling you, it is a strong and a heavy message behind it. So I know you told us about some of the other things that you have coming up. I want to just tell you, keep up the great work. You know, it is, I know that it's not easy. Working with anyone, and God knows working with us is not easy. You know, especially Christians. You know, we turn some time to say we're gonna do something, and then when it's time to put up, we don't do it. You know,
right.
I be there and they never show, and I know that. But what type of before we wrap this up, and I know you put your plug in, hey, you're looking for actors and actresses.
Always.
What kind of actors and actresses?
You don't have to have any experience. I mean, I like the ones that I can take and work with you. If you can be committed and you have the energy to drive to do what we want to do, and that's to spread the gospel in this venue, then please don't hesitate to call. You know, like if you're a writer and you're not quite sure about where you want to go with your writing, I would love to sit down and consult with you about that. Because I got out of a meeting today yesterday. A young lady, she had written a play and she just wasn't quite sure about her delivery or her approach, and we sat down and we discussed it. So she's going to be performing that particular play in July.
Wow.
So, you know, it's about getting the word out there. I mean, theater is amazing. Theater is not perfect, you know, and in those imperfections, you learn so much.
Right.
I mean, it's difficult for people to run lines and learn lines and know it all right then and there, and there will be some mistakes, but there's beauty in that, especially in theater.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So it's awesome.
Okay, now give us a way to contact you. I don't know if you want to give out your number or maybe just an email address for the ones that desires to contact you. How can a listener or a viewer get in contact with you?
The best way to do that is to email me at kgproductions1@live.com. Again, I say kgproductions1 live.com. And I'm checking my emails and I will respond to you expeditiously.
Okay. Now, what about on Facebook?
Facebook, I do have a Facebook page. Okay. It's Delania Williams Cunningham. You know, I'm a Williams and I'm proud of that. So I always keep that in everything. That's on my professional certificates, my driver's license. But it is Delania, Delania Williams Cunningham. And that's my name on Facebook.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we were excited here to have Miss Delania Williams Cunningham here inside the studio with us. And I pray that you will support her business, support her ministry, because in all things, you know, here we desire to push and put ministry in motion. And I want to tell you thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you for even just coming and accepting the invitation. But listen, I want to also make sure I make a special plug. This is also one of my backbones here to this beautiful broadcast, to the school, to everything I do. So I ask that you support her. You're supporting me, you're supporting her as well. Again, thank you for tuning into Distinct Broadcast Network. Once again, it is here where we embrace, equip, and empower the people of God through the Word of God.